Another really lovely detail that I forgot to mention was in the opening scene where they are carrying back Jamis to the Sietch. And they have these enormous caverns filled with water. And Stelgar and the Fremen only feel that the pure water of a person's life that is clean and unadulterated are the Fremen, and their water is added to the still. And he believes that that water is what is going to populate life on Dune again, which is a really beautiful thought. Jessica is there with him. She realizes when he says how much water is in there, how many Fremen have died and have been exterminated in the Imperial rule over Arrakis and Dune, and she is horrified by that. And she gives her body's moisture to their loss with tears. And Stilgar says, "Oh, no, 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 no." And he touches her face and he drinks her water. And he said, "Don't waste your water on the dead." But Jessica is really feeling the horror of the loss from that. And we feel that too. That is a really moving scene. And we feel for the Fremen, and that ultimately fuels our desire for their revenge as well, and kind of gets us on the boat with them that we want to see them take back what is rightfully theirs. They do not deserve to be oppressed. No culture deserves to have that ripped away from them and have people's lives taken away over a material thing, which in this case is the spice. And I'm pretty sure that this is a very direct take from Frank Herbert about something that exists in our world, which is oil production. We saw early on that fossil fuels were very valuable in the Industrial Revolution and taking humanity to its next level. So the West conquered, and they took what was not rightfully theirs and they massacred people for a thing. And that is so wrong on so many levels. So again, as an audience, we feel that and we mourn. And if you knew this connection already, you're absolutely in mourning for what has been done to the lands in the Middle East and how cultures and people have been decimated over a material thing, which has no real value in comparison to human life. So that is a very, very deep concept. So we have at some point some focus on the relationship between Chani and Paul. And you see that she's really the only person who's getting him at a deep level. She sees his struggle. The Fremen people make a judgment and they're laughing at him. They're like, let the desert decide his fate. Pfft, who cares? And everybody knows what that means. That means he's going to go into the desert and he's going to die because he's an off-worlder and he doesn't know anything about the Fremen and he doesn't know anything about Arrakis, Dune, the desert. So she sympathizes, empathizes with him, and I think starts making the decision that she doesn't want to see his life go to waste. And that is due to the Fremen values. He's a good fighter. He stood up to the Sardaukar. He fought alongside of the Fremen. That means he has value. The Fremen believe that there is no value to a person outside of their body's water, because that is really the most valuable thing that a person has that they can give back. So that's an important note to take, that she feels that Paul has value beyond his body's water, or else they would just pack him up, put those mechanical things on him to suck out his water, and either use it for their machinery, or if they deemed that he was chemical free enough, add him to their deciliters of water. So that is pretty deep, and you see this really beautiful relationship forming between them. So you see Paul being suited up and thrown away. Give him to the desert. See what happens. He's probably just gonna be unalived out there and eaten up by the desert, which they think is what he deserves because he's an off-worlder. But Chani decides to follow and give him some pointers on how to survive in the desert. He's obviously taking all of this in, but he is enamored with her, and that is really beautiful to watch. I think that's captured on screen, and you feel that love. I mean, he's seen her in his prescient visions, so he's already on that page with her. She doesn't know, and she's, why are you looking at me like that? Stop. You're making me uncomfortable. And he knows that this is the only woman for him. And she shares with him that her Fremen name is Zihaya, which means desert springtime. And that is something that is used in the Dune novels. And every time that it's said, just my heart, he's the only person who calls her that. And he always says, Zihaya, my desert springtime. And it just gives me goosebumps. It is like just a beautiful love story, and that's captured really, really well. They share a kiss on the dunes, and we have some really beautiful cinematic imagery happening there. And again, chills. We have the music from Hans Zimmer going in the background, so there's a lot of this movie that we just feel. We feel and feel it, deep in our hearts. And that was one of the first moments where I had some goosebumps and chills. So, moving on, we have the transmutation that is going to have to happen with Jessica. She is going to become a Reverend Mother. They see her in the first movie as a Bene Gesserit, and that is her value. She is certainly not a Fremen. She is a great fighter that they see. In the first movie, she gets one over on Stilgar. He's impressed. Okay, there's value. There's value that aligns with the Fremen culture. And he sees that she is also special. And he knows that their Reverend Mother is close to death, and she has the ability to maybe take her place. So that is where they're pushing Jessica's story. And she knows she's pregnant, but she also knows that if she doesn't go through this ritual, become a Reverend Mother, and transmute the spice, that the prophecy will not be fulfilled. So she has no choice. If she doesn't fulfill this property, then her and Paul might be as good as dead. So she drinks the water of life, which is the poison that is taken from a sandworm, Shai-Hulud, a baby sandworm that has been drowned in water. And they extract that pure spice essence that is that beautiful blue color and give it to her. One of two things can happen. she can unalive or she can survive and have all of her genetic memories unlocked and become a full Reverend Mother. So at this point, they give her the poison. We watch her go through the spice agony and become activated. And we also get those really stunning shots of a fetus and that spice essence going into the womb and also activating her baby. That is where a lot of trouble starts. The Reverend Mother, who is giving up her life in order to give all of her memories of all of the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mothers before her to Jessica, her eyes roll back in her head and she says, "What have we done?" And that's where that scene ends. Stay tuned for more.